I have not yet really talked about the project I'm writing for NaNoWriMo. I think I've told my CP. I posted about it once or twice on Instagram, max, but I haven't talked about it on YouTube. So yes, we are going to quickly talk about the project I'm writing for NaNoWriMo. The working title is Mon Cœur, which means my heart in French. It's a contemporary fantasy murder mystery. I would probably describe it more of a cozy murder mystery because it is set in a like island town on the water, obviously. Here's how I'm describing it. As Agatha Christie meets Kiki's Delivery Service. So, I mean, if that doesn't just scream fascinating, then we have different taste. To me, when I had the inspiration, I was like, oh, Agatha Christie is my favorite murder mystery writer, but atmospherically, like kind of a spooky Kiki's Delivery Service. My main character is a witch who lives in a quaint, idyllic kind of town that is technically an island off the coast of the Pacific Northeast, and is just like an isolated little town with a very long bridge that takes it back to the mainland. So the main character, her name is Dahlia, and she is a plant witch with a cat familiar, because y'all have seen Gimli, like you understand that I love cats and I love the idea of a cat familiar. So she has a cat familiar, but probably not a black cat. I was kind of imagining like an orange tabby. And she's a plant witch. She's adept at growing plants and can talk to them. She can speak the language of the plants, but it's kind of a secret that she's a witch. Non-magic people are aware that magic and paranormal elements exist in their world, kind of a step further than the way our world sees urban legends and things. There are definitely people who believe vampires and werewolves are real in this world. I'm not one of those people, but it's as if everybody just kind of has a vague sense that those things are real, but nobody's ever really seen it. So she's a witch on the quiet. Nobody really knows that she's a witch, and she tries to keep that quiet. People just think she's close to her cat and has a good green thumb. She works part-time at a flower shop. She struggles to make ends meet because, you know, she works part-time for barely more than minimum wage, but she squeaks by selling her own herbs, vegetables, flowers, and potions that she sells as medicine, that sort of thing. She just imagine she runs a witchy Etsy shop, and that's kind of how she supplements her income. Her best friend is one of the detectives on the police force that is, you know, the town's police force, whatever. Can you tell I'm going to have this beta read by a police officer? Doing my research, but we're gonna get a second set of eyes. So anyway, her best friend is a detective, and she's very good friends with a prominent French family that lives in the town. They are a wealthy family and they own a lot of property on the island town and on the mainland. They are one of the few families, this French family, that originally settled this town centuries and centuries ago when the people like took their boats over to the island and started populating it. Their family was one of the first. She has a massive honking crush on the brother Leon and is really close to his sister Mirelle, which I'm probably butchering, but here's how it's spelled. So the Pomeroys are a wealthy, well-off family that Dahlia has luckily found herself close to, because sometimes when that rent check is not about to be paid, Leon or Mirelle will swoop in and cover the difference, you know what I mean? But her and Leon's world is completely shaken up when Mirel is found dead by apparent suicide. Leon is convinced that there was foul play at work in his sister's death, and he convinces Dahlia of the same, who then ropes in her best friend by basically guilt-tripping him into investigating and digging a little bit deeper into Mirel's death. Despite her best friend, the detective Ren, despite his best attempts to keep Dahlia out of the way and out of any possible danger because, you know, he's chasing a murderer, she tags along and does her best to help anyway, because in her mind she has a lot of stake in what happened to one of her close friends and, you know, the brother who she's madly in love with and quite close to. She feels she's got a lot at stake here and wants to help solve the crime. She has her cat familiar and her plant speaking abilities that she uses to further the investigation, but has to find a way to explain those things with a non-supernatural thing. So the story is just that. It's a murder mystery where it's kind of a buddy cop thing where the detective and his best friend, the witch, are trying to solve who killed, you know, Mirel Pomeroy. I think from plotting it out that it's going to be very fun. I'm in love with my own characters, but you know, you kind of hope those things are always true though, because otherwise how on earth will you manage to write a whole novel if you aren't passionate about it? So I'm super excited to dabble in a contemporary, atmospheric, cozy murder mystery, which is way too many descriptors, so we're gonna figure out how to cut that down. We'll figure it out. I'm super excited to share more about Dahlia and Ren and Leon and Mirel and all the other side characters who I can't get into too much here, but will over time, and when eventually this book is hopefully somewhere for purchase, you can read them too. I don't know, I'm very excited about it. I will probably rename it from Moncur because my French pronunciation it leaves something to be desired, but it felt appropriate to call it something in French because the titular characters, two of them, are French, very French. I don't know. It's a working title. We'll get back to it. But anyway, that's the project I'm writing next month, and I'm really excited about it. So if it's a project that interests you, please let me know to keep me excited about it, because that's how that works. In my mind, people are excited about the project I'm working on, I get more excited about it. So please, if you're excited about it, share it with me.